What is good, y'all? Back here with another video. Hey, man, so Jake Paul's returned to Impulsive. This is the first time he's returned, and I think, they kind of talk like that. Well, they probably talk about camera and all that. Obviously, I don't know them. But as far as we know, through the clips and through YouTube and social media in real life. So let's see what they have to say about it. Last time we watched Impulsive was the Jake episode where they were going at it. That's really the only time I watched Impulsive is when Jake's on it. I literally never ever watch Impulsive, but we have been keeping up with obviously influencer boxing. That entertainment is obviously some of the best in the world, and we did react to Logan and Dillon yesterday. The face to face and and then I know the KSI one's coming up. I think that his face to face is coming up maybe tomorrow, maybe today, or the weekend. So definitely gonna react to that whenever it does. We're reacting to everything. So I did want to catch a little bit of this to see what they had to say. I looked through these, so we're not aliens fan. No, Dillon, Danis versus Logan Paul probably going watch, and then Jake and Logan beef, and then that's it. Probably just gonna chill. So let's go ahead and see what they had to say.
Conversation to air. I said that to everybody, and I said it just makes us both look bad. And
it still did.
You guys still aired it.
Alright, so let's go ahead and see what they got to say about the fight. You know what? We'll go to the beef first and then the fight. Let's go ahead and see. This is why we're really here. I want to see this because I feel like Jake, Jake could easily just say, fuck Logan.
Can we talk about something before I go to this next topic, because it's a weird one, and I feel like this is a good time to say it. Okay. The last time you were on the show, a lot happened. There was a lot of chat,
Mike brought
a lot of conversation coming out of that episode.
All right.
A lot of potential misconception.
Mike is such the both sides ass person, bro. Like, I've never seen anything like it before.
Logan, Jake,
I've never seen
anything. Say to each other, or any clarity that you want to maybe speak out on this episode while we're sitting back together again.
The prime right there. Sheesh.
I think
Logan,
that when the higher you climb, the windier it gets. And especially as brothers, and brothers always, and mostly actually brothers in families, older brother, younger brother, roughly 1 to 2 years apart, maybe 3 years apart, have the toughest relationship with one another. And ours just happens to have a bunch of people watching us go through ebbs and waves. And I didn't want that conversation to air. I said that to everybody, and I said it just makes us both look bad. And you guys still aired it. Yeah. And it was a conversation that we don't get to have often, and people never understand like how busy our lives get. And finding the time to have those conversations sometimes is impossible. And that's unfortunately what happened. But I think it felt good to have it and just get some frustrations off the chest.
The content of the conversation wasn't the issue. The issue was that it was aired online. And you were right. And Schultz asked me, he's like, why did that conversation see the light of day? There's some scrubbing that needs to be done internally of why that happened. And I think it was just the speed at which we move, the busy lives that we live is like, I don't often think of the implications of what the fuck I'm doing. And I think it was just like a, record, post, move on situation.
We had the call out, but I think you and I, at the end of the day, it comes down to a conversation between you and I. We get the feedback from the people who watch and review. And I think we've always strived on this show to show a side of ourselves that we don't always love that much. If something comes out that portrays us as vulnerable or imperfect, or
that's what I'm saying, Mike. Like we are in a position where our lives, as a fault of our own, or intentionally, is here for people to critique. And sometimes that can be good and sometimes that can be bad. People will watch an episode, and brothers especially, and be like, oh, I have had a conversation like that with my brother. Oh, maybe he got a little too far here. Logan has some stuff he needs to work on, which the big takeaway for me is, and Jake, you're so wise. You're the little brother, but in many ways, I think you're more emotionally mature than me, and you've given me a ton of like feedback on my character, my personal direction in life, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, dude. Like, I am a severely imperfect human being, and sometimes I need to be re-railed and steered back in the right direction. And like, you know, everyone in this room is here to help me do that. And sometimes I need to,
and to help each other.
yeah,
It's not just like, and everyone's severely imperfect. And
All right. Tell me something I already knew.
like you said earlier,
Yeah, right.
we are in the world of being criticized, and not only with yourself, but the people that matter.
my life now.
Yeah.
And it's just what you do.
And it's more fun because it's easier. When we first got in, bro, like we were getting our faces fucked up every
Yeah.
day, bleeding all over.
Yeah.
You couldn't move your arms, your elbows are torn up. And then it's like 9 a.m. You're getting hit in the fucking face in your living room. Like even the jumping rope at the beginning of the workout was hard. And now it's just like this is a fucking warm up.
How long we do this, the belief will always be that you have maliciously made every single mistake that you have made in your life, and that I have maliciously made and you too, and all of us. And that's the thing that hurts. It always hurts to know that people think that you're doing these things on purpose, when in reality, as you just said a couple minutes ago, we're imperfect, just like everybody else. We make mistakes. And so that's like the toughest pill that I've always had to swallow, is just knowing that there are people out there who think that this guy's a bad person. Just through and through, just a bad person. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Flip outs.
I didn't really get too much from that, but
and I also was confused because I saw so many clips coming out for like 3 weeks, and then I would like go and look to see when it was coming out, and then when it actually came out, I like didn't.
It was me posting the clips.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you why.
I seen the clip outs.
No, this guy's he's a good Twitter troll. He's excellent. And
you know that.
In debating how to like tackle this, and even if I do want to tackle it,
he's a good Twitter troll because he's never. You have a very large weak spot that he's exploiting, but when he tweets about anything other than Nita, it doesn't. No one cares.
Yeah, but
didn't he
get like famous for tweeting?
I kind of
He's
disagree because
let's give him some.
But he was dead.
I disagree because like he could go to so many other things to violate Logan, but he just stays at the girl, which I don't know why.
Resurrected his career.
It's funny, and
like,
I get it.
Yeah,
and
he's
it's
like
great firepower, like
jokes,
especially on the internet.
It's largely in part that he's exploiting.
I mean, Jake could be
Nina,
right because, like, bro, think about the
so
world, bro. The world cares about that shit
so
much for no reason. Like,
they're
for me,
the ones
it'll be probably
who are
funnier.
Like, yeah, like, fuck girls.
It is crazy what he does.
I'm
he
gonna
still has some shit
I
that's,
love
like,
what Dillon's doing here,
like,
and they know that they won't ever get a hot girl. And our society and culture and young men are hurting and are so hurt, and they're addicted to porn, and they have no way to interact with girls, and they text them, and they're getting rejected, and then boom, boom, it's this never-ending cycle, and now they're finding a way out to unleash their hate through this super hateful, insecure male who is clearly a very hurt person.
That's where we keep landing, is like Dillon's obviously damaged, and he may have some sort of mental illness that I empathize with, and he unfortunately, hurt people, and he's targeted an innocent bystanding female that has nothing to do with this fight, and people are latching onto it. But he's, at least at this point in time, tweeting 20, 30, 40, 50 times a day. I don't even know how this guy is training. And so we're going back and forth. They're like, well, do I even engage in this Twitter war? Also, do I give a fuck? Do I have to? Like, Dillon has done almost all the promoting for this fight, has 0% back end, and he's going to have to pay all the money he makes in this fight back to my fiancé.
Well, he did get some clout out of it. I'll present the other side of it, just because I'll always be called a yes man.
No matter what you say.
I'll always be called
no matter what you say.
No, here's one thing I can say to you right now.
Say it.
Here's a yes man.
Say it then.
No.
Yo, get out. You're fired. You're fired from my life. I don't want anything to do with you. Get out. Nah. The theory was, when I was putting out those clips, after the face-to-face, I sat down with the guy, and I was so curious to see what he was going to be like in real life. He's really just a puddle, Jake. I'm not even just saying this to be a tough guy. He melted. He stumbles over his words. He can barely get out a sentence. He can barely form a rational thought. Everything he says is a lie. And so I landed on, why don't I just show him actually who he is? Like, it's much different in person when you're not tweeting behind a keyboard all day. which is why I'm so excited for October 14th. I need this guy to show up. Like, what is going to happen when Dillon Danis is trapped in a fucking 20 by 20 foot ring with me on October 14th and he can't go to his phone and tweet because he got boxing gloves on? But I need him to show up, and I have a prediction. Because everyone's like, is he going to pull out of the fight? What's going to happen? Everyone's crossing their fingers he shows up. The face-to-face is doing numbers. Like, there's so much hype around this fight. And by the way, the card in itself is going crazy. They just added that Brazilian influencer / comedian Whindersson Nunes. October 14th is going to be nuts. Like, the numbers this card is going to do. We're all super optimistic for it. But in thinking of the ways that Dillon could like make excuses and lie and back out of this fight, I thought of one that actually could be a good thing for him. And I'm going to say this right now. What's the date?
You should.
13th.
September 13th. I predict that he's going to somehow intentionally give himself COVID to back out from the fight. Instead of like faking an injury or like actually getting injured, I think he's going to find someone with COVID and like lick their feet or something and use it to get a positive COVID test to back out of the fight. Granted,
on the week of.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But also, like, you could just like fake a COVID test, couldn't you?
No, because it would be confirmed by 10 fucking doctors. He'd have to actually get COVID. But he's not going to. At first, we thought he might intentionally injure himself, like break a finger or something. But that's insane. Like, you think this guy's going to put his hand on the table and like smash his finger with a hammer? I don't know. But the other part of this is like him pulling out.
How is he gonna get
in any way that isn't like verified by a doctor of our choosing? He'd have to pay $100,000 to us, which, you know, Mike said he can just pay using the Twitter revenue that he's generated.
I wish I never said that.
No, because
it's not very much revenue that they're making from this stuff.
No, he did over 2 billion impressions in the past.
Yeah, because
like
everyone
he's gonna
thinks
get
that
it's not a lot.
Everyone thinks that little chart, the 3 rising bars on Twitter, is views, and I hate when people call it views.
It's the dumbest thing ever when you look at the Tucker Carlson interviews.
Yeah, and they're
like, yo, he did 450 billion.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, oh, you got that many views? Like, no, that's how many people scrolled.
1 second.
That's how many people scrolled by it.
Yeah,
you don't know the views on Twitter.
Right.
You don't.
But
everyone thinks that.
No, but his count is impression based. So
but impressions from what?
What do you mean?
Impressions from what?
Tweets,
he got 2 billion impressions
videos.
from pictures, tweets, videos of what?
Oh yeah, I'm not.
No, say it.
No, I'm not saying.
No, say it.
No. Of
what? What's the content?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. The way he got it done was activating an army of people that hate Logan Paul.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Take the girl, take Zoo, whatever the fuck you want to pull out of it and put under a magnifying glass. But at the end of the day,
yeah, if it wasn't Logan Paul girl and it
ain't
was like
fucking
the
with
same girl, like a
Logan
different
Paul
guy,
right now, bro.
Yeah,
and it was a good time. It was a
probably,
perfect
like, if he was just
time
doing it
for him
someone
to
he
come
wasn't
in and
boxing,
activate that
he
army of
wouldn't
people.
have been as
And to
popular,
Jake's
for sure.
point, even the people that kind of messed with you or didn't care, there was a bunch that hated women. There was a bunch that wanted to do this. There's a lot of nihilists who just want to watch it all burn. And they just want to get involved and be like, yo, let's start trouble. Let's fuck people up. But back to the crux, the beginning of all of it is the hurt people situation. And honestly, I've been feeling worse and worse for the fucking dude, bro. I mean that. I'm not gonna cry about it, but it is very apparent that he's sad, bro. And that sucks. It sucks also that you're going to have to beat his ass.
If he thinks he's sad now, wait until October 15th. Because he's in a position where, and I said this to him, October what? You hold it?
Yeah, you should say 14th. You said 15th.
Yeah, the day after the fight.
Oh. Well, what about
I know what day the fight is. I'm saying the day after the fight when he wakes up and he's like, oh, shit. I've lost it all. Because when he goes on Twitter, I said this in the face-to-face. He's getting validation that he hasn't gotten in a while. That's a good feeling, dude. Like, if you haven't gotten that type of validation.
I guess that's what it is. This was like, it was cool. Let me know if you like, subscribe. I appreciate y'all.